Say hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me is the hardest working man in all of Pub Sports Radio, the hardest working host all out there. It's Ian Cameron. Ian, how are you doing over there?
I am good, Jose. It's good to be with you as always here on a Thursday. A lot of day games as usual on a Thursday. I know they picked the slate clean and we leave us with a fewer games than we normally get on other days. But no, lots of good games, lots of good bets tonight still on the card. More National League heavy tonight than American League, but no, still some good bets. We'll see if the Jays hang on here. That's the game I've got on in the background. They're up 4-3 in the ninth, so exciting card still, a good one.
Yeah, you're right. Thursdays do get picked a little clean, but it does equal a fun little show for everyone with me and Ian on the show. And of course, when basketball and the hockey season ends, you'll see more of Bobano as well and Say Hey Plays. But he's a hardworking man right now. Just finished the NBA Pub Hub a couple minutes ago.
Yeah,
What a
the plan
study
is
years.
jumping on with you on the weekends from time to time once hockey's over. So, that should free up some time for these Saturdays and Sundays to jump in every now and then. So we look forward to that as we finally, as much as I love hockey, it's a long season. And we're almost at the end of it.
Yes, it is. Quickly before we get into the baseball and get into the next edition of Say Hey Plays, just a quick NBA Finals thought, Ian, because you know where I'm going.
Yeah, I know you love the ball, and I like them in the series. And I said this earlier today. Remember, if you haven't tuned into the Pub Hub, make sure you get in on that before Game 1 starts tonight. But I said on the NBA Pub Hub show earlier, I like Boston in the series. I just don't like them in Game 1 tonight. I really think it's an advantage for Golden State. I expect Boston to get out of Golden State 1-1 and bounce back in Game 2. But Game 1 tonight, I like the Warriors. I did a split bet between the money line and -3.5 with them. But I did also bet Golden State to win Game 1 and Boston in the series plus 400. A combo bet at FanDuel, which I thought, and that's a good one to take advantage of. I really think the Celtics, if it gets to Game 7, as I think it will, they can win that game. They can go on the road and win in New Oracle. I know the Warriors have a great home court and great record there, but Boston's the one team that could win a Game 7 on the road. I think it's a close series back and forth. I do like the Warriors tonight, but I think Boston's going to win the series in 7.
Oh, well, that's lovely. Thank you for saying that, Ian. That makes me feel better about myself there. I have the Celtics in 5. I think the Celtics might even sweep. I think they win tonight. And
Wow.
even if and when they don't win tonight, Ian, I will be rebetting them for the series after the fact as well. So I'm excited for that. But let's enough about the basketball talk. Let's get into Say Hey Plays 57. Say Hey Plays 57 officially underway here, coming off of everyone knows that you've seen me earlier today. I've come off a little bit my high on my Pirate high, but we took the Pirates all 3 games money line against the Dodgers. They sweep them for the first time since 2000. It was a great time. Actually, the last time they swept them was September 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I believe, in 2000. Fun fact, September 4th, my birthday. There you go. There's your fun fact of the day. So shout out to the Buccos, making my record feel a little better. Took 2 early losses today. We had the Rangers first 5 money line, and I had someone else first 5 money line. I've already forgotten what it was. But both of those lost for me this morning. I also have Orioles money line officially down right now, but looking to add maybe 1-2 more plays on this card. Realizing after you said it, Ian, it's National League heavy. Maybe I'm just an American League guy. Maybe that might be the case, huh? It makes a lot of sense to the baseball I watch.
This is a weird schedule. I mean, there's a lot of games still tonight, and like pretty much all but 2 of them are National League. It's kind of strange.
It's the Tigers, by the way, the other game I had. But yeah, no, you're right. I think it's a weird schedule, but let's talk about this first National League game. It's a good game, a fun game, and a game I want to move on to start off with. I want the first 5 under here in Giants Marlins. Alex Wood, as you would like to say, Ian, Wood is good versus Sandy Alcantara. We all know the Sandy Alcantara greatness, and I just kind of want to underscore it. He went back-to-back against the Braves. 8 innings in his second start, the full 9 in his first start, 14 Ks, 7 Ks, 21 strikeouts, and almost 17 innings of work against the Braves, the defending World Series champion, Sandy Alcantara. It's phenomenal. I think he dominates here again today. And I think the Miami Marlins are a poor hitting team against lefties. I cut my splits down from June 15th till today, and their last 57 weighted runs created plus against lefties. So, first five under here was my look. I'm going to double check and see the line because I wrote it down at first five under -3. First five under 3.5 -125. So, let me double check here while I do that. Ian, what do you have on this game?
Yeah, I don't hate the first five under. I was actually more interested in Miami first five full game split, but was I interested at -140? Not as much. I mean, it's just unfortunately the days of getting Sandy Alcantara at even money or an underdog or something around -120 like I say, those days are gone. You're going to get much better prices with him, and that's what you got here with Miami. With us, Miami here, you got to lay a bigger price than I'm comfortable with. But he has been great. I certainly lean Miami here. First five full game, 2 ERA, 1.95 ERA at home, 3-2 at home overall. Alex Wood, I'm a little bit more concerned about. Now, he dominated the Marlins last year. It is worth noting, 1 run in 12 innings. But current form-wise, he's given up 11 runs in his last 12 innings. It hasn't been great, for Alex Wood the last few starts. So I do lean Miami, but it was just past the price point that I was comfortable with. With Miami's not one of those teams. Let's lay -140 with them. No, I lean Miami, but it's a pass.
I am officially moving on that first five under here. You can get it at 3.5 at -120 now on Bovada. Thinking that both these guys dominate. I think it's mainly my main concern was honestly Alcantara against these Giants offense. I think the Marlins will struggle because they've just been so poor against lefties. But I don't know if a lot of people know this, but it is a common practice that you send your next day starter to the city that you're going to a day in advance, so he can kind of get like early, rest, whatever, recuperate, do whatever. So he did not have to sit there and kind of watch that, big ass marathon day that they had yesterday and all the runs and all that stuff. So I like Alcantara tonight. And I don't hate. I looked at it just now. Actually, let me double check. I looked at it just now. -0.5 for the Marlins. First five is -110. I don't hate that at all, but you just have to be concerned about the offense. So first five under 3.5 -120 for me is official, and I have moved on it. Let's keep it moving here. Next game on our slate: Washington Nationals, Cincinnati Reds. See the resurgent Cincinnati Reds going for that playoff spot. That's what they're doing, obviously. Graham Ashcraft versus Yoan Adon. And, I was kind of happy that when Adon came up this time in his rotation spot, I didn't have to add another loss onto his record. So good job, Yo. Last time out versus the Colorado Rockies, he dominated. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, none of them earned. 3 Ks, 2 walks, and that's dominating for Yo's stances there. Versus the Dodgers before that, 4 2/3, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 Ks, 4 walks. Nationals aren't hitting righties, 88 weighted runs created plus, 23rd in the league. The Reds are right there with them, the 27th, 81 weighted runs created plus, with Ashcraft on the bump, who people are starting to like, I guess. Seen a lot of love for the Reds. Ashcraft last 2 starts versus the Giants, last time out, 6 1/3. 4 hits, no earned runs, a K, 2 walks, and then at Toronto, 4 innings, 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, 2 walks. So I'm personally very all set with Graham Ashcraft. Not going to put my money on him, but I could see an underlook for the first 5 innings, perhaps, and just don't mess with the bullpens, who will probably lead this game to go over. But ultimately, nothing for me here, Bobana.
Yeah, I'm on the side in the total. I like over 9.5 for the game. It is a kind of a nice mild. It's supposed to be a decent weather night in Cincinnati. Slight wind out, I believe, last I checked, and I think that's also influenced the total, 9.5. I even see a 10, in a couple of spots here. So I like over 9.5 here. -115 is the best price there. And I also like Cincy first 5 full game split. Not often do you see me saying, let's lay a price with the Reds. Let's lay a price with the Reds. But right now, this is one night where I'm willing to do that. When you look at the Reds, remember that brutal start they had, 3-22? They're actually 14-10 since that time. So they have been a winning ball club. Graham Ashcraft has been all right. I'd like to see him do better in terms of control a little bit. He has had some walk issues, 4. in the first two starts, but when you go into Toronto, you beat the Blue Jays and you only give up 2 runs in a little over 4 innings, go into the 5th inning, you're doing something right. And then in this bandbox of a ballpark, Great American, and you shut out the Giants in 6.1 innings, that's you're doing something right. I mean, it's not easy,
Yeah.
especially for a young pitcher to pitch here in Cincinnati. So I think the Reds have the edge. Juan Adon is just terrible here for them. Nationals, he's been absolutely horrendous. 6.87 ERA on the road, just absolutely brutal. 0-4 are the Nationals in his road starts. And by the way, with Ashcraft, the Reds are 2-0 in his 2 starts. The Washington Nationals with Adon, how about 1-9 this year in his 10 starts? So to me, this is it's not like it's a bad price. Do I love laying a price with a team like Cincinnati? No, but I think this is one of the rare exceptions I'm willing to do it. So I like Cincinnati here, first 5 in full game. First 5 is minus, looks like 125. So is the full game, right around the same number. So there we go, $1.25 with the Reds, first 5 in full game.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. That's the only way you can go with it. I mean, I think the thing that really stuck out to me, your breakdown, is 1-9 and starts with the O. So I can't get there. I cannot get there with the Nationals. I'll just ultimately end up passing on this game because this is not something I'll actually want to even watch. I don't want something I'll even want to watch. So let's keep it moving here. Next game, we'll talk about Seattle Mariners, Baltimore Orioles, and I have moved on this game. Wow. By the way, let's have a round of applause. Kevin Biggio, a rare extra base hit, just a rare
He's
hit.
actually hit a little bit better since he got called up recently from Buffalo. A little bit better. Is he still great? No, but he's been a little bit better. And just maybe bailing out Blue Jays run line betters, although there's still the top of the 9th to go.
That's what I was mainly concerned about here. I know a couple of people do have the Blue Jays run line here, and that is a big run for him. I think Kevin Biggio stinks. So I find it funny that he's up here trying to just hit over 100, like Jimmy says. So shout out to Kevin. That's a big run for the
Matt
Blue
Chapman
Jays.
just got absolutely plunked right now, and that was dangerous. The ball almost hit his head or face area. Wow.
Oh yeah, he got crushed
for a sec. Yeah.
If I was Matt Chapman, I would not be happy. That would look like it crushed him right into the neck ear area. But let's shout out the chat real quick before Matt Chapman gets pulled for this game for having a concussion. Roger that 215, Real Deal Prime, Mr. MDR, Chad Cannon, Eric Jones in here as well. Mr. MDR, trying to find that 57, who that mysterious 57 wearing that jersey is. Ron Lofton, Nasty Nate in the building as well. Hopefully you get that Celtics trifecta spot. But I do have a revelation at the end of the show. I'll tell you, Ian, as well, because you'll scold me for this, and I'll leave it for the end of the show. But when I say this, I'll actually say that I hope Nasty Nate is not watching, because he'll be disappointed in me as well. So Nasty Nate, if you just want to tune out at the end of the show, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it, Nate, to save me from my embarrassment. But we'll talk about Flexen versus Lyles here, and I got this price actually earlier today at a minus 103 for the Orioles, full game money line. And now it's at minus 110 both ways. That makes me feel pretty good about it. And I gave the case yesterday pretty much, and I'll talk about it again. The Mariners seem to have an issue going to the East Coast here. And I found it interesting. I used that to basically propel me to betting them yesterday, team total and money line, both of those cashing pretty comfortably. At Tampa Bay, 1-2, at Toronto, 1-2, at the Red Sox, 0-4, at Miami Marlins, 1-2. I understand that the Orioles are worse than all those squads. I've said that several times this week, or I mean, this yesterday and today, I guess I should say. I understand that the Orioles are a step back from those squads, but I'm gonna let those numbers propel me here, and I think Jordan Lyles has been pitching pretty well. Shout out to him for giving me my first minus 200 winner during their minus 300 winner, I should say. Garrett Cole versus Jordan Lyles, and he does that. He goes out there and pitches really well. I don't like Flexen either. Flexen coming off of a really good start versus the Houston Astros, 7 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 2 walks. That is good for Chris Flexen, I should say, because he has been struggling before then. But I do think that he is a fade pitcher overall, and he has had some tough luck losses. Obviously, he's pitched well, but he's better than his record indicates. But I tend to think about fading him more than backing him. So I'm on Orioles money line here, hoping the offense can get it together and score some runs here. I do like the over as well. Bobana, what do you have on this one?
Yep, ding, ding, ding. You basically the last part of what you just said. Yeah, over 9. That's what I like here. Over 9 minus 120. I just don't have the guts to take Lyles. I know the moment I finally start to maybe trust in the guy, he's going to get ripped apart, and we'll see about that. He's actually pitched better than I thought so far this year, especially at Camden Yards. His ERA is 2.1, at Camden Yards this year. But I still think he's long-term. He's not someone I trust to be this good all season long. And I think Seattle can do some damage, and Baltimore's bullpen certainly can be susceptible. And talk about bullpens that are susceptible. Seattle's has been awful lately. 4.66 ERA for their bullpen the last 10 games. Chris Flexen, I like him in Seattle. Last year I bet on him a lot in Seattle, but he struggled on the road. This year he's struggling pretty much everywhere, for the most part. He hasn't even been as good in Seattle this year. 4.47 ERA overall, 4.97 away from home. Last start in Seattle actually was good for him. 1 run against the Astros in 7 innings. I don't know where that came from, but before that it was a rough go for him. But again, that was in Seattle. So even the really one great start he had, actually the only 2 really, really good starts he's had this year were both at home, Kansas City and Houston. He's still not exactly someone that going on the road I trust him. Chad in the chat with the career. Didn't have the career road ERA in front of me, but he has it in the chat, and that's true. 5.65 ERA tells you all you need to know. He's just not someone I'm willing to trust on the road. And I don't trust Seattle. Seattle's not playing good ball. In fact, you look at actually current form, Baltimore's the better team at the moment based on the last several games. So I don't hate the Baltimore look, but I prefer the over, and that is my official wager here, over 9 minus 120.
Yeah, I think the over is a good spot here. I just chose the Orioles. Is a cheaper, almost even money price, all that good stuff. Shout out to, by the way, Jake Burns asking as well about Orioles minus 1.5 at plus 170. I would personally would not go there just because I think it's minus 110, I guess now, because I was going to say it's closer to even money, so it's okay. But minus 110 is kind of pushing it. But I just think it's going to be a stretch for the Orioles to win this game. I think if the Orioles win this game, hopefully the bullpen comes in there and locks it down from 7 through 9, and Lyles gives us 6. But we'll see here. I don't necessarily hate it, but I'm not moving towards that personally there. But let's move on here. Next game, I think the most interesting game of the day for sure. We've got Manaea versus Sean Manaea versus Adrian Howard, I should say. Sorry. Pittsburgh Pirates last time out for Manaea. 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a home run, 5 Ks, 3 walks. And Manaea has been pretty good this year. It's been a lot of, 5, 6, 7 innings, whatever you get, 3 earned runs. Not necessarily dominance per se, like he did against the Red Sox in his no-hitter once upon a time. But I don't know. I just ultimately, I think Sean Manaea is starting to get a little overrated. I'll be honest. I think he's starting to get a little overrated for what he is. And I think maybe the Padres' mystique in the no-hitter, it kind of inflates that. Adrian Hauser on the other side, I think former Oklahoma State guy too, Adrian Hauser. 4 innings, 9 hits, 8 runs, 5 of them earned off 2 home runs at St. Louis. I think he pitches better than that. So I honestly, Ian, I think my initial lean here, I want to take the under 8.5 minus 110, thinking Manaea will hopefully continue his 6-7 earned run or 6-7 inning performance, 3 earned runs, and we can get a Padres bullpen that's been pitching better. I think they're a little worse than they've been pitching, but they've been pitching well. You might as well ride a good bullpen while it's going, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. So the under might be worth a look. I actually did take a shot here with the Pods in this game against. I'm not liking some of the things I'm seeing with Hauser. I mean, he's kind of had a couple starts there which didn't look great. Manaea's been in better form, so I like the Padres a little bit here tonight in this one. You can get pretty much minus 105. Looks to actually minus 102. Right now at Caesars looks to be the best. I'm just going to go with the full game here. I don't think there's enough of a bullpen edge for San Diego, or the bullpen disadvantage, I should say, for San Diego. I don't think there's enough of one to go with the first 5 full game split. Normally I do that with 98% of the sides, but I'm going to go with the full game here. San Diego minus 102 in this game. I think Manaya's got the edge, and you can see it kind of moving in that direction. Milwaukee open minus 125 favorites. Now it's even money. I'm even seeing San Diego now, a small road favorite in some spots. I agree with where the money's gone. I agree with it. I think I trust Manaya right now a little bit more than Hauser at the moment. Now you could say Padres, 3 straight losses against St. Louis. They got swept in that series. Not good. Maybe you don't want to back a team that's kind of struggling, especially at the plate right now. But I think this is a good bounce back, kind of get well situation here for the Padres. So I'm going to take them. San Diego minus 102.
Paco Healy in the chat loves that, Bobano. And
he's a Padres fan. Yeah.
Yep, of course.
Good timing with that.
I think you're on the right track there. I think I'm officially going to move on the under 8.5. I'm going to hope that Hauser does have a good start here, bouncing back. I think Hauser's a serviceable pitcher for sure. And those were the 2 plays that I had circled going into this show, figuring that I thought I was going to add the Milwaukee, San Diego under 8.5. And that is the tame play of the day as well from Matty Ice. And as soon as I looked at these 2 teams' weighted run created plus in the last couple of weeks, I immediately texted Jimmy and I even asked him. I was like, he's on the under, right? And he said, or I said it over actually, and he told me he's actually on the under. But it looked 28th in the league against lefties are the Padres, 72. 27th are the Milwaukee Brewers against lefties, 75 weighted runs. So it's just, man, it's just I can't deal with it. And Kyle Henley he's gone anti-Adrian Hauser here, and I would take Kyle Henley, and for a 3 or 4 starter that Adrian Hauser is, you could even count him like a 4 or 5 starter. 3-5 with a 3.69 ERA and a 4.33 FIP. I'll accept that. Last year he went 10-6.
Yep.
With a 3.32. What do you want from him, Kyle? What do you want from him? No, I'm on the under here. I like him. He's been good last year. I think he's been okay this year, and I think he'll have a good start.
I did like Hauser last year, but I don't think he's been as good this year. That's just me. I don't think he's been as good this year.
No, I mean, again, 10-6 last year. He had a good year. I'm not saying he's fucking Cy Young, but I think he'll have a good start here today. And it's mainly, again, predicated Hauser. He's fine, but Padres against righties since June 15th, 72 weighted runs created plus. That's 28th in the league, like I just said. So they have been horrific, and they potentially will make him look like Cy Young. And by the way, of course, the Blue Jays just broke that game open. So 7-3 Blue Jays now. So
what a big hit by Santiago Espinal. What a player he's turned into for this ball club. Wow. Great player.
I'm not going to remind myself that he was a Boston Red Sox, I believe. I'm not going to remind myself of that fact. That doesn't matter to me at all, Ian Cameron. It does not matter to me at all because we have Trevor Story. I'm going to keep telling myself that, and it won't hurt. St. Louis Cardinals, Chicago Cubs here. Matthew Liberatore versus Keegan Thompson. Keegan Thompson, who apparently is going to win a Cy Young. Who knows? He's 5-0, 1.58 ERA, bullpen, starter. Doesn't matter. Keegan's the man. And I think, Ian, I think the day that a Keegan wins the Cy Young, that's when I'm out. That's when I'm out. I'm done. I'm all set. Whether it be Thompson, Aiken, or another Keegan, I don't know. I'm out on all Keegans. I really wanted to take the Cardinals here, honestly. Minus 112 is a cheap price for what I think is the best team in this division against the Cubs, who, I obviously don't expect them to be very good. Though I do root for them for my friend who did put $100 and some on their over and wins on accident. So shout out to my guy, Matthew. But I like the Cardinals today, a cheap price. I think maybe we're just a little sleepy on Matthew Liberatore, and maybe people think he's not ready yet. But I think he's here to stay for a little bit, and I think he'll pitch well, and there's no wind or anything. A humid day, so the balls might be flying a little bit on that factor. But I like the Cardinals, and I wanted to move on them, but I ultimately did not pull a trigger yet.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I still want to see a little bit more from him at the major league level, Liberatore. You look at it so far, 3.72 ERA. What I don't necessarily love is on the road, he got shelled a little bit, and it was by Pittsburgh. 4 runs, 7 hits, 4.2 innings. Much better against Milwaukee at Busch Stadium, but can he do it on the road here against the Cubs is the question. Now, Keegan Thompson has shocked the hell out of me, with what he's done so far. I mean, it's unbelievable. We got a guy that's got a 1 and change ERA so far on the season for the Chicago Cubs. And look, I don't want to take anything away from what he's done. He's been off to a great start. I do want to point out something, though, and that's going to be something really, really interesting, here going into this game tonight in terms of Keegan Thompson. You look at, while his numbers are very good so far this year for the Chicago Cubs, he has faced St. Louis before, divisional rival. Is it going to be a situation now where, a little more familiarity coming into play here for Keegan Thompson? The Cardinals probably a little bit more aware of what his stuff is. And now that they've seen it a little bit, maybe something that they can pounce on. I do also want to stress something very important. While his ERA looks phenomenal, the xERA is at 3.1. The FIP and the xFIP are 3.49 and 3.75, closer to 4. There's a regression train ready to run over this guy, I think, at some point. Keegan Thompson. Like, he's not going to sustain this. He's not going to maintain this indefinitely. So you kind of know where I'm going. I like over 8.5. That's the play for me.
Wait, so I should not be running to the windows right now betting Keegan Thompson Cy Young? That's not what I should be.
Oh. No, you should not.
Well, I guess I'll hold off today.
Minus 110 is the best price there, over 8.5.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Cy Young winner for Keegan Thompson. Minus 110 is the best odds there. I mean, it makes sense with his numbers. But I think I'm going to sit on it and think on it a little more. I want to take the Cardinals, man. I really do. Maybe it's the 2 losses earlier today hurting me that I don't want to move on it in a card that I just don't really end up liking that much. But yeah, I think we'll just move on for right now. And we'll see here. A lot of Celtics Warriors talk in the chat right now, but a lot of it people are agreeing with us, Boban, or agreeing with you, I should say. Celtics series, Golden State tonight. They don't hate it at all. Don't hate it at all. All right, so let's talk about Ian Anderson, Austin Gomber here, Rockies, Braves, and I feel like, I don't know what it is. I think Gomber is on these graphics like twice a week, 3 times a week now. It feels like he's always pitching for the Rockies. If it's not Gomber, it's Marquez or Senzatella. It seems like they only have 3 pitchers right now. I don't know why. But let's talk Gomber first. Last time out, he got destroyed at the Nationals, an inning of a third, 7 hits, 8 earned runs. Before that, he had a pretty good start versus the Mets. 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks, no walks. A lefty that I obviously do not not favor here. Ian Anderson, a.k.a. Ian Anderson, he has his own struggles, and it's pretty funny. I've mentioned this with him before, but he falls into the category of pitchers where you just watch an inning, 2 innings, and you'll know, like, oh, he doesn't have it today. It's over. We're not winning this bet. Whatever's going to happen. The same thing happened with me and Rich Hill. Actually, I didn't bet on Rich Hill this day, but with the Red Sox, it was ball, and then it hit the guy, and I was like, oh, well, Rich Hill does not have it, and the Red Sox are going to get crushed today. Orioles go on to dominate the Red Sox that day, and I was like, okay, well, at least you can tell immediately with him. I think the total here is not really surprising, but it's just going up and up and up. It was 11.5 earlier today. It's 12 now. We saw what the Coors conditions were with Miami and Colorado, and it feels like the same way is going to happen. Honestly, my initial thoughts here would be like a Braves team total or a Braves run line kind of deal, but nothing for me, as Molly the dog is having lovely dreams right now too. So shout out to Molly the dog here. But what do you have in this, Ian?
Yeah, I like another over for me, 11.5. I don't mind the high number. Austin Gomber, you're right. And I cashed an over with him in the last start. And I think I might have been on the show when I did that. I don't know. No, it was Tuesday, May 28th. So it wasn't. It was that was Saturday, rather. Saturday, May 28th. Yeah, I was on the over anyway in that game, Washington, Colorado. Gomber got absolutely crushed. Atlanta's mashing lefties right now, by the way. The last 10 games, that sample size for the Braves against Southpaws has been very impressive. 295 team batting average, 5.25 runs per game against lefties over the last 10. Gomber does have, it's usually actually pitches decently at times here at Coors, but the way Atlanta's hitting lefties, the way his form is overall, like his overall ERA is 5.51, his xERA is 5.36. It tells you there's nothing fraudulent here. He is not pitching well, and he's deserved to not pitch well based on the xERA, which backs up what his actual ERA is. So I like Atlanta to hit here. I think Colorado gets to Ian Anderson, though, as well. I think Ian Anderson in this ballpark, he's someone that pitches to contact a little bit, and that's trouble when you're facing the Rockies. I know his road ERA this year is pretty good, 2.79, but you throw out the overall road ERA with visiting pitchers at Coors Field, you've got to go to specific history of them in this ballpark, Coors Field. That matters more, and that supersedes the road ERA numbers. And if you look for Ian Anderson, he made one start last year, his first ever start at Coors Field, tagged for 4 runs, 5 hits, 2 homers in just 3 innings. And it was not very good for Ian Anderson last year in his one start that he's made here at Coors Field. So I'm not going to overthink it. I think both teams get theirs, and it's a high number. But you look at the last couple Colorado-Miami games in this ballpark. We saw 13-12 and we saw 14-1. The 2 games yesterday in that doubleheader, both of them flew over the total. So I think we get over 11.5 here as well.
Yeah, it is. It's the high number that obviously I guess books are trying to intimidate people, but man, I agree with you. It's Ian Anderson. You're betting sort of against your own Ian here, Ian. That is Ian on Ian crime right there.
Kinda, but Atlanta could still win. Atlanta can still cover the run line because I think they're going to hit Gomber. So
yeah, Atlanta is liable to score 10 by themselves. And I think you're right there. Just a last point here to reinforce Atlanta's dominance against lefties as of late. Like I've told you guys, splits are right now from June 15th or May 15th. Like I fucked that up all days. I don't even know if it's June or May or July, whatever month it is. From last month to the 15th to now, they're second against lefties, 151 weighted runs created plus. So over 11.5, over 12. I like those looks. Ian, you're on the 11.5. I like that as well. So let's move on. Last game on our small slate here, but it's a very fun slate as always with Ian Cameron. I always love joining him, and I'll ask him about maybe some hockey after this as well, because I've got a little stakes on it. New York Mets, Los Angeles Dodgers here. Mets are going with Taijuan Walker with Tony Gonsolin on the other side. And I'll be honest, I mean, coming off that sweep of the Pirates, or the sweep of against the Pirates for the Dodgers, I don't want to watch another Dodgers game for the next couple of days here. I don't want to have to just sweat out fucking Pirates relievers going against Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and all these dudes. Ian, I don't think you understand. It was reliever roulette with the Pirates. I had no idea who any of the dudes are that the Pirates were bringing on. They were bringing Joey Kahoozy and Joey what's his name and all these guys, and I was just hoping that they just find a way to get these Dodgers out, and they figured it out. And obviously the plus 148 for the Mets is super appealing, super appealing, but I think it's there for a reason. I think that the Dodgers, maybe they were just like looking over the Pirates, perhaps looking at this series as, this may well be the NLCS. This is, if you had a betting favor for the NLCS right now, this is probably it. Obviously, we'll have some healthier pitchers going then, and I personally hope that this is our NLCS. It would be a clash of the Titans here, and it would be, I just want to see Steve Cohen just see the Dodgers and be like, I want that right there. And he'll spend his way to get it. So I'm excited to watch this game overall. Ultimately, I'm not going to fade the Dodgers again here. But I will say that the over 8.5 is looking pretty okay here. I think Tony Gonsolin's obviously a good pitcher, but Taijuan Walker, it's about time he gets touched.
Yeah, I'm with you on the over. There's another one. It's, I think, 4th or 5th over for me on the card. This is another one with the Dodgers hosting the Mets. And I didn't fade the and credit to you for doing that. Great job being on Pittsburgh game in and game out in that series. I didn't take the Pittsburgh side in that series. But I did take the over in each game and went 2 out of 3 with that. So that was good to see. So the first game went over, and the second game, or the last game, went over last night with White and Quintana. That to me was an automatic over. White's nothing to write home about, and Quintana, I knew that he was going to come back down to earth a little bit. Same thing here. I don't trust Gonsolin to maintain his numbers. I know he's been pretty good. He's gotten comfortable in this, starter's role that he's been in, and his numbers, 1.8 ERA, 1.29 are good. But again, there's advanced numbers that suggest, he's going to have some regression a little bit. And the same goes for Taijuan Walker. I still do not fully buy into or trust Taijuan Walker. I know, he had the injury earlier this year. I was set to fade him, and I actually did that one start where he got ripped apart by the Phillies rather. 7 runs he gave up in 4 innings, and he's pitched okay since then, but he's going to face one of the absolute best teams in Major League Baseball hitting right-handed pitching, of course, that being the LA Dodgers. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a tumultuous start for Walker here as well. Gonsolin against a Mets lineup that I don't think they get the credit they deserve. Obviously, the pitching's not been bad, but the lineup has been absolutely outstanding. And you see during this 6-game win streak, 8, 8, 5, 13, 10, 5. They have scored minimum 5 runs in every game during this 6-game win streak. And I think they got a good chance probably to keep that streak going here tonight. And the Dodgers bullpen is shot as well after that Pittsburgh series, and also no day off. Keep that in mind as well. No day off to replenish that bullpen and rest these arms for Dave Roberts. That's got to be a concern as well. So I like over 8.5 here. I think you get runs early. I think you get runs late. And at this money line price, I could only look to the Mets, but not with Taijuan Walker. I think any other of their starters in this spot, I'd be taking that plus price. Not with Taijuan Walker. He is still a bet against pitcher in that category for me.
Yeah, over 8.5 is definitely the look for me as well. And actually, I'm going to double check on Ballpark Pal real quick to see if there's any inclement weather here. No, we actually have 6-mile-per-hour wind out to right, 75% humidity, nice 66-degree day, 15% more likelihood of chance of home runs too, according to Ballpark Pal too. So yeah. Over for me there too. I'm not going to make it official there. Taking it a little slower, I guess, but it would definitely be a lean for me over 8.5 there. Bobano, always lovely to talk to you and see you, especially on the show. Let's recap our picks here, but first, let's give a shout out to our guys at Dr. Squatch. Dr. Squatch, of course, the natural best smelling soap in the business. Go grab yourself the Galaxy Bundle today. You guys can get all 4, I should say, of those soaps featured right there. Like you guys know, my favorite, the Black Hole, of course. It looks cool, smells great, natural soap. Go get the soaps today. Use the link in the description below, and that will let them know that we sent you guys. So check out Dr. Squatch today and go do that for us. Alrighty, Bobano. Let's recap the plays here. I'll start off here. We'll recap the 2 plays that I've already lost today. Detroit first 5 money line and Texas Rangers first 5 money line there. 2 tough luck losses, I guess. The Rangers, both teams just didn't bring their bats at the end of the day. Baltimore money line minus 103, also official for me. Locked that in earlier today on betting with the bag. And the 2 additions that I have made during this show is the Miami Marlins, San Francisco Giants under 3.5 at minus 120, and Milwaukee, San Diego full game under 8.5 minus 110 for me. Bobano, what are you making official today?
Wow, we got a good card for Thursday here. We've got Cincinnati minus 130. First 5 innings, minus 125 full game, and over 9.5 with Washington, Cincinnati. Of San Diego, minus 102 full game against Milwaukee. St. Louis, Chicago Cubs, over 8.5, minus 110. Atlanta, Colorado, over 11.5, minus 120. New York Mets, LA Dodgers, over 8.5, minus 115. Seattle, Baltimore, over 9, minus a 120. And do we talk Angels, Yankees, Detmers, and Taillon?
Oh, that game's not going. That game's not going.
Okay.
That's a purposeful skip by me. There's no fucking chance that game goes.
There you go.
Weather's all messed up. But here's the thing, Yankees. We'll just keep it like that. Yankees for me.
Yeah. Betcast is tomorrow night, Fireside for Ice Guys. Yeah, tomorrow night. Rangers
Shout out
Lightning
to
game
Ice
too.
Guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Ian, I put Ice Guys on my producer credits. As us podcasts and show producers, we have a
Of
list of
course, you helped
shows
us
we
out
do.
down there in San
Yeah,
Antonio with it.
it's
Of
on the
course. Yeah.
list. It's on the list.
Yeah.
It's on the list. Oh goodness. So Ian, thank you so much for joining me. So much. It's always lovely to talk to you on Thursdays. I can't wait for all the other seasons to end. So you'll be on the show more often. Shout out to everyone in the chat as always as well. I am going to ask Ian for his NHL slots here in a second, but let's give everyone a shout out. DX Filer, Paco Healy, Ron Lofton, Real Deal Prime, Fireside, Top Set. What's up, my guy Elio in the business? Kyle Hentlian, of course. Kyle Hentlian and all you guys are talking about Paco Healy, talk about these arms, guys. These arms built by sitting around doing capping. Ugh. Yeah. So the rear delts, as you guys like to say, they're flexing hard. Me and Ian Cameron, we're on the same workout program. This is what we do. Michael Orvalina, shout out to you guys. Richie Rich, the gas station report. All you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. As always, Chief Rodney Barton. Roger that. Big timers, Mr. MDR. Thank you guys as always. Now, Mr. Bobano. We've had some pretty big hockey games going on. Everyone wants to know your opinion real quick. I'm a big Connor McDavid guy, McJesus. But I've heard that these Avalanche are a wagon and they're very good. And I watched the last game and I was like, oh, like 8-3, this is over. And then slowly the Oilers started coming back. I think it probably gave their fans a little bit of, false hope. But at least McDavid looks good out there. So what do you think about the game real quick, Ian?
There we go. I'm going to go Edmonton tonight, plus 150 here in game 2 to tie this series up. And that's, look, I like Colorado to win the series. I took them to win game 1 in the series, a combo bet. I think they'll find a way, but I'm looking at this as Edmonton plus 150 tonight. I think they tie this series up. I think Mike Smith bounces back. He's done it before. He did it against Calgary after getting pulled in game 1 in that series. I think McDavid steps up. I think he was one guy he didn't have a bad game 1, but with a game with so many goals, you thought he'd be a big part of it, but he wasn't necessarily that way. I think you're going to see him really have that one, like McDavid is going to be pretty big tonight. I think he's going to play a big game. Over 1.5 points is a prop I like for him at minus 140. Zach Hyman to score a goal plus 200 to get a point as well. It's a prop that I've been routinely cashing, and I'm going to go back to the well there. I like Edmonton here plus 150 to tie up the series. I like the goals again to happen. I don't know. We'll probably not get 14 or 8-6 like game 1, but it's hard to not see this game getting to at least like a 5-3, 5-4 type of game with just how much skill, speed, ability to just 5-man attack both teams. Hard to suggest that both teams can't at least light it up offensively again. Now it's Mike Smith back in net for Edmonton. It'll be Pavel Francouz for Colorado. Darcy Kemper got injured in game 1, so it's Pavel Francouz, who was great in game 1, but now the Oilers have seen him a bit. They know he's going to be the guy in net, and now can he duplicate that performance again is a big question. So I like the over, but I'm going to wait to see if I can get a better number in game with it.
Okay, very interesting.
Thank
you as always for your thoughts, Ian, on all the different sports. We've got a little basketball, got a lot of baseball, and even a touch of hockey. So it's been fantastic. Ian, thanks so much for joining me again. You'll be on Betting with the Bag manana. The long, hard Friday shows, but you love to do them, Ian, and we love to have you, of course. Thanks, everyone in the chat, as always, for watching Say Hey Plays 57. We'll be back tomorrow with Say Hey Plays 58 with, of course, Connor Mack joining us. It'll be a fun time. Thank you guys, as always. Don't forget to say hey on social media. Follow Ian Cameron at Bobano. Follow me at Jose Bouquett. And we'll catch you guys mañana. See you guys.